Some guitarists did something no one ever expected. They turned their solos into true masterpieces. Moments so powerful they didn't just define a song, they carved their names into the very history of rock. Some of these solos shine so brightly, they became the heart and soul of the track, the moment everyone waits for. In today's video, we're counting down 10 guitar solos that forever changed the history of rock. Let's dive in. Number 10. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. What other song can shift genres 4 times in under 6 minutes and still remain a masterpiece? Exactly. Bohemian Rhapsody, released in 1975 on the album A Night at the Opera. In the middle of its majestic vocal harmonies and Freddie Mercury's emotional melodies, Brian May's guitar solo appears like the perfect bridge that ties everything together. What makes this solo truly special is how singable it is. May wasn't trying to impress with speed or technical fireworks. Instead, he focused entirely on melody, crafting a solo that feels like the guitar is actually speaking. Every note was chosen to express a specific emotion, fitting seamlessly into the fabric of the song. So, how can a solo, so short, so seemingly simple, be so powerful? That's exactly where its genius lies. Bohemian Rhapsody was already a revolutionary piece of music, but Brian May's solo elevates it even further, sealing its legacy as one of rock's greatest masterpieces. Number 9. Highway Star by Deep Purple. This next solo defines what it truly means to race across the fretboard. Released in 1972 as part of Machine Head, Highway Star cemented Deep Purple's place on every rock fan's radar. Ritchie Blackmore draws directly from classical music, inspired by none other than Bach, and fuses it with raw rock aggression to create a solo that's an absolute whirlwind of notes. The Highway Star. Solo is a frantic barrage of phrases, where speed, bends, and Blackmore's almost surgical precision battle to take your breath away. The result? A solo that feels timeless. A living example of how pure technique and visceral energy can collide in a single performance. Who else could pull off something this wild back in those days? Every time you hear it, it feels like the guitar is about to burst into flames from sheer intensity. Yet somehow, it never loses its musicality. Number 8. Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne. Now we move into a solo that feels like it comes from another realm entirely. Released in 1980 on the album Blizzard of Oz, Mr. Crowley is one of those songs where a dark, mysterious atmosphere merges perfectly with the brilliance of Randy Rhoads. He took neoclassical technique and raw emotion to almost spellbinding levels. From the very first moment, Rhoads' tone feels like an incantation. Crying bends, precise tapping, and a fluidity that pulls you in instantly. Listen closely to how every note is played with purpose, almost hypnotic in its intention. This isn't just virtuosity, it's storytelling through the fretboard. Rhoads left us far too soon, but he gifted the world unforgettable moments like this one, where rock and the supernatural intertwine to create something truly unique. Number 7. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Now tell me, who doesn't recognize the opening riff to Sweet Child of Mine? The moment those first notes ring out, you instantly know something big is coming. Released in 1987 on the album Appetite for Destruction, this Guns N' Roses classic redefined what it meant to be a hard rock band and achieve massive mainstream success at the same time. Slash's solo stands out for how deeply melodic it is, as if the guitar were crying one moment and then exploding into a soaring emotional shift that lifts the entire song to another level. It begins almost romantically, with each note singing on its own. And then, when the band kicks up the intensity, the guitar transforms into a raw, powerful scream. Funny enough, Slash came up with that iconic opening riff while warming up and casually fooling around on the guitar, never imagining it would become one of the most recognizable riffs in rock history. And if you believe Slash is one of the greatest guitarists of the late 80s and early 90s, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on the legends of rock. Let's continue. Number 6. Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Freebird, released in 1973, could have stood on its own as a beautiful rock ballad. But what turns this song into something almost mythical is that legendary final solo. Alan Collins and Gary Rossington trade guitar lines back and forth, creating a kind of musical conversation that grows more intense with every passing second. The solo begins slowly, almost nostalgic, and then builds in speed and emotion until it becomes a whirlwind of notes that feels endless, like a perfect storm of guitars. By the time it reaches its final phase, it's impossible not to get swept away. Even if you're not a guitarist, your heart starts beating to the rhythm of those intertwined solos, as if the music were surrounding you completely. And what about the energy this song carries live? Fans know that Freebird can go on for as long as the band's improvisation allows, keeping the entire audience in a state of pure, electrifying euphoria. Number 5. Hotel California by the Eagles. Is there a more iconic guitar solo than the one in Hotel California? For anyone who grew up listening to rock, this solo is almost always near the top of the list. Released in 1977 on the album of the same name, Hotel California is a mysterious track, part social commentary, part cinematic journey. What sets this solo apart is the unique interplay between Don Felder and Joe Walsh. Instead of one guitarist taking the spotlight, we get a conversation. Two guitars trading lines, answering each other, almost like two voices telling the same story from different angles. The result is a melodic tapestry so perfectly woven that you can practically sing every note without losing your place. The solo serves as both the climax and the farewell of the song, the final act of a story filled with tension and intrigue. And really, isn't it amazing how two guitars can blend so seamlessly that they sound like a single, unified instrument? That's the magic of the Eagles. Number 4. One by Metallica. Now we shift to something much heavier, One, released in 1988 on the album. And Justice for All delivers one of the most intense guitar solos in metal history. The song begins with a dark, haunting atmosphere, recreating the horrors of World War I. Kirk Hammett's first solo is mournful. Long, drawn-out notes that sound like a lament for all the human tragedy beneath the surface. But as the song progresses, the energy surges. It's as if a floodgate suddenly bursts open, unleashing pure, uncontrollable fury. Fast tapping, rapid-fire phrasing, and aggressive picking collide with Lars Ulrich's relentless drumming, creating a roaring feeling of total catharsis. When you really think about it, the solo feels like a scream for release. It begins with sorrow and ends in explosive rage. It's the perfect cocktail of emotions, something Metallica always knew how to channel, especially during the band's golden era. Without a doubt, an essential track for fans of metal and rock alike. Number 3. Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. When we talk about solos you feel in your chest, not just hear with your ears, Comfortably Numb is the gold standard. Featured on the 1979 album The Wall, this track showcases David Gilmour's mastery of turning the guitar into something almost dreamlike. He doesn't need 1,000 notes per second. His magic lies in the space between them, in the sustain, in that unmistakable vibrato that feels like it's telling quiet, emotional stories. There are 2 solos in the song, but it's the second one that gives half the planet goosebumps. Gilmour has mentioned that he recorded multiple takes and then chose the best moments from each, crafting a definitive version that borders on emotional perfection. Have you ever felt how a single, perfectly played note can say more than 100 fast ones? That's exactly what Comfortably Numb proves. It's living proof that psychedelic rock can be both powerful and ethereal, and that a guitar solo, more than a display of skill, can become a spiritual experience. Number 2. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. We've reached one of the most famous guitar solos ever recorded. Talking about Stairway to Heaven, released in 1971 on Led Zeppelin 4, is talking about an absolute icon of rock history. The song begins as a gentle, almost folk-like melody, and slowly transforms into an explosion of guitars and drums, becoming a true anthem that shaped entire generations. Jimmy Page builds the solo like a climb, quite literally, raising the tension measure by measure. It's as if every lick is another step toward an inevitable destination. The way Page blends bends, bluesy phrases, and long sustaining notes creates a rising sense of urgency that finally erupts in an electrifying climax. Stairway to Heaven became a rite of passage for anyone who ever dreamed of picking up a guitar and playing rock and roll. Is there a more legendary solo? Even today, every time Stairway begins to play, it has the power to stop time, reminding us why Led Zeppelin remains synonymous with innovation, mystique, and sheer power in rock music. Number 1. Voodoo Child, Slight Return by Jimi Hendrix. And finally, we arrive at number 1, the throne many consider absolutely unquestionable. Jimi Hendrix didn't just play the guitar, he reinvented it. Voodoo Child, Slight Return, released in 1968 on the album Electric Ladyland, is perhaps the ultimate expression of everything Hendrix stood for: boldness, sonic exploration, and an attitude that felt like it was bending the laws of reality. The wah-wah pedal, the wild bends, the controlled distortion, they're all part of the DNA of this solo that sounds like it came from another galaxy. But what truly makes it unforgettable is the feeling that Hendrix was communicating directly with his guitar, almost as if it were an extension of his own body. Every note, every strike of the strings, every pause carries a vibe so personal that it's almost impossible to imitate without falling into simple imitation. Voodoo Child, Slight Return is more than a song. It's a manifesto of what it means to break boundaries and chase the pure essence of rock sound. Hendrix achieved this at a time when experimentation wasn't just encouraged, it was essential, and his legacy continues to inspire generations of guitarists around the world. How could this solo not take the top spot? It is the very definition of electric magic, innovation, and sonic rebellion. Each of these solos became a true pillar in the history of rock. Did we miss one of your favorites? Tell me down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I invite you to keep exploring the world of rock with our next episode, where we look back at the greatest songs of 1984, an unforgettable year for rock music. I'll see you there, my friend, and keep on rockin'.